witnessing the return of the 2009 legendary receiver core? Or is this just one big faux pas that we're all buying into? I can guarantee you it's not a faux pas. But tune in to this latest episode on the Who Dat Weekly. Hit that intro, gang. Who Dat?
In the middle of Crescent City, we'll say it loud, Louisiana pride.
Buongiorno, mi amiche. I just totally fumbled on that Italian intro, but welcome to the show, everybody. It's your boy, Christopher J. Spice of the Who Dat Weekly from the Dirty Dell's finest. That's right, baby. Yes, I know that's not your normal intro or anything like that. I'm getting ready to go to Italy in 2 days, so I'm freaking excited. I've been busy packing left and right, but regardless, I figured let's do a quick talk show and get us all hyped up for the upcoming season coming up soon. So, all right, how is everybody doing today? By the way, we got a birthday boy today in the chat. Let's give a shout out to he goes by Jerry, but at JGP Junior 6497. Happy birthday, brother! I see you right there. Let's give a quick shout out to the birthday boy. Alrighty. So, well, I'm glad you guys could tune in today. We're going to talk some football today. As you see below, the three things we're going to talk about is the Saints' most recent free agent moves. We're also going to talk about the most recent NFL free agent moves around the league. We're not going to cover every single one of them, but we're going to talk about the most noteworthy ones. And then, of course, last but not least, we're going to talk about my opinions of how the Saints receiver core could look like entering next season. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start the show. And before we do that, don't forget to like and subscribe if you really enjoy this content. And you're my latest subscriber, give me a holler. Type in the chat below. I will give you a personal shout out like I did to my boy Jerry for his birthday and all that. And we will go from there. So, alrighty, so recent Saints free agent moves. The Saints this is usually when the Saints get kind of quiet, but there's been a lot of chatter among the Saints. My mic's on. Sorry, I had to make sure my mic was on because some of you guys know I have a horrible habit of forgetting to unmute myself. But anyway, so recent Saints news going on. There really isn't much going on. The Saints OTAs have begun as we speak. The soon minicamp is about to start as well. And really, this is kind of where things go in the offseason. And usually we don't get a whole lot of action until like mid or late July when the actual training camp kicks in. So as far as free agent moves go, not a whole lot going on in that department. So I figured that would be very short and quick. We can get on to the next point and talk about that. But I did want to talk about real quick because I just mentioned about the OTAs. And so there's been a lot of chatter about what's going on in Alvin Kamara and his status with the team. And, of course, Cam Jordan. Well, unfortunately, I don't have answers for you about Cam Jordan because I'm even concerned myself. I really want to know what the hell is going on with Cam Jordan. I want to know if he's coming back for another year. Is he going to retire? Because what's also shocking is he's technically a free agent now, and not a single team has picked him up. I don't know what's going on there. It's not like he's a restricted free agent or anything like that. So what exactly is going on behind the scenes of Cam Jordan land? If anybody has any updated news, please tell me. Because like I've been so busy with preparing for Italy and all that, I might be a bit behind in my Saints news. I do apologize for that. But at the same time, I just want to know. So, like, I can only speculate that they're still trying to work on a potential deal to bring him back. That's the only thing that comes to mind, is that it's just taking them a little longer than we anticipated. As for Alvin Kamara, the good news that we saw is that he actually arrived unexpectedly for OTAs. So that was a shock to all of us because we've been hearing that he may actually just skip out on OTAs. Now, personally for me, I don't care about the OTAs as much in regards to Alvin Kamara showing up because really because like this, it's just OTAs. It's not like mandatory mini camp or mandatory training camp. That's like the least of my concerns. The fact that he actually showed up shows me he's still committed to this team. Really love that. And on top of that, I think this whole proportion of him not being re-signed or anything like that is being well blown over proportion, if that makes any sense. So I think we're good. I think Alvin Kamara is here to stay for the next year because, I mean, he's going to be a free agent anyway, but after next season. So I think we got this. I think we're good. So anyway, so I just want to briefly touch up on that. I was just pleased that Alvin actually decided to step on the field and start practicing with the team, especially with all the new guys out there. And it was interesting to get his point of view about how most of the guys that had been there for a long time, namely Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, who is it? Alante Taylor. Those guys that have been there for a while have now just all of a sudden gone to other teams, really. Well, except for Cam Jordan, he's still unsigned. But it's just good to see that he's there, he's present. I mean, and on top of that, it's encouraging to know that he's still committed to the team regardless in the end. So, but yeah, that is that with the Saints update free agent moves, even though it's not really free agent moves anyway. But yeah, so anyway, now let's talk about the NFL free agents around the league. Now, I'm going to talk about the three most noteworthy ones that just happened recently. And this is kind of surprising, but also not kind of surprising. We'll just start with the least surprising one, which would be A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots. Now, that has been in the works for a hot minute. And ever since the Eagles got their rookie receiver from USC, whose name I forget. I don't have his name in front of me, so I don't know his name at the moment. I do apologize. But ever since they drafted that guy, the writing was basically on the wall for A.J. Brown. And given his antics throughout the offseason and this past season, I figured, okay, he's bound to leave at some point. So, in fact, there's actually a really funny picture floating around of him with the Super Bowl trophy, not looking impressed whatsoever. I mean, why? Who wouldn't be impressed? I mean, if I won the Super Bowl, I'd be having parties for days and days. Like, I would be so happy to win a championship. I mean, I know what it's like to win, maybe not a Super Bowl, but I know what it's like to win a championship. Back in high school, I used to play high school basketball, and my team won a state championship, and that was the greatest feeling of my life. Now, I know it's nothing compared to a Super Bowl, but I can relate to like the excitement and feeling. But looking at that picture of A.J. Brown with the Super Bowl trophy, he looks like he's just not impressed. And I'm just can't sit here but think, bruh, come on, can't you look at least a little excited? And that's where the funny part kicks in when you look at the next picture to the left of it or to the right of it, whichever side it was, and you see him looking very happy, but just holding a football. Hello, like are you only there for the football? Or are you just there for catches? Is that all you're happy about? Is that you're finally gonna get the football from Drake May of all people? Like, now Patriots, don't forget, I'm not disrespecting Drake May. He's actually a very talented quarterback. I have a lot of respect for him. He made it to the Super Bowl obviously last year, but at the same time, he needed more weapons, and he finally got one, but at what cost? So, regardless, yeah, so that's one of the big noteworthy transactions that just happened just recently. Now that we're going to talk about I would say the biggest, most noteworthy one that none of us saw coming, and I have to ask the Cleveland Browns this one question. What were y'all thinking? I might be the oddball man out here, like, you know what I'm talking about. I might be the odd man out on this one, but I think that was the dumbest trade that could possibly happen. Like, why would you, one, trade your defensive player of the year, two, your best defensive player, period, and three, why would you trade him to the Los Angeles Rams of all teams? Of all teams, why those guys? Those guys are already loaded with talent. They were one game short from last year's Super Bowl. They lost to, ironically, their division rival Seattle Seahawks. Why would you trade him to that team? But it gets worse. It gets worse. I don't like the Browns somehow also stole a bunch of picks from them in the process. Wait, did they? Wait, hold up. Might be getting this mixed up. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So the Rams got the Rams got Myles Garrett, and then the Browns got Jared Verse along with their first round pick and a couple other. Yeah. Okay. I got it right. I'm sorry. I'm tongue tied and confusing myself. But still, the craziest fact here is that it only costs the Rams one round draft pick, where we saw last year with what's his face from the Jets. He was the Jets' best at cornerback. He was traded to the Colts, and it took the Colts 2 first rounders, gave it to the Jets. And here, Myles Garrett, his worth is only 1 first round draft pick. I can't help but sit here and think, wow, what a highway robbery kind of deal. Now, the reason why I hate this trade is not only because Myles Garrett's with the Rams, but at the same time, was this worth the trade value that Myles Garrett is? Now, again, I know I just mentioned that he is a defensive player of the year. He's been the Browns' most consistent sack leader for the last near decade over there. The question I just have is this going to be in the Rams' benefit, or is this going to be in the Browns' benefit? Now, we know the Browns stink every single year, so that comes to no surprise. They may just waste all those draft picks for people who they think is actually good enough, but ends up being absolute dumpster trash. So I would say I think the winners in this deal is literally the Rams in this one. Like, they literally stole Myles Garrett for one good pick and a bunch of picks they don't absolutely care about. And that it blows my mind about how big of a trade this is. This trade reminds me of the Luka Doncic trade in the NBA. Now, I know that's a whole different level of trades, and that's the NBA and all that, but I can't help but think that's the kind of trade that the Rams just pulled on the Browns, just like the Lakers did against the Mavericks. What were you guys thinking? I don't know, man. I don't like anything about it. Now, some people are saying that this is good for the Browns. They can just reload on their defense. And then they got the Rams. They win on this one. They'll probably get a Super Bowl out of this one. I don't know. I might be the odd man out here. I think this was a dumb trade, and that I stand by that point of view. So, just agree to disagree. Feel free to leave your comments below. But that's just what I think. So, now the third and final one I want to cover real quick, and I've been seeing this all over social media, is Odell Beckham Jr. is finally back in the NFL after not playing for the last 2 years. He's back with the Giants for a little reunion. Now, Giants fans already thinking that they finally got their elite receiver core back and they're going to be back to their glory days. I'm going to put this big-ass timeout here. Timeout, Giants fans. Let's do a quick recap. Out of no disrespect for the Odell Beckham Jr., he's definitely one of the league's best receivers back in the early 2010s. Like, this guy hasn't been healthy in years. This guy hasn't played in 2 years. This guy has been on an absolute decline, and you sign this man to a 3-year deal. Am I missing something here? Where do you see elite receiver core? I see a grandpa of a receiver who probably won't even stay healthy for half the year, going up against talented younger defenses around the league that are going to shred him up to pieces because he's too old, he's too slow. I don't know what the Giants were thinking in bringing him back. Look, I get it for sentimental value. I thought maybe at the very least this would be one of those retirement contracts. That's what I thought. But apparently he's actually all set in stone to actually play this year. And I'm just thinking, oh, Giants, you guys can't be this stupid, right? Come on, the man is probably gonna get injured within 3 games. That's what I'm predicting here. I don't get it. I don't get it. I understand the sentimental value part of it, but I don't understand him actually trying to play. So, and I just think he's straight up washed. I don't think he's going to help the Giants at all. The Giants were better off getting receivers. I know this past draft, didn't have the best receivers, but because most of them were already taken, and one of them was taken by us, yours truly. But at the same time, there were a couple other decent receivers that you probably groom and develop and all that, and you choose to bring back an old washed up fart that hasn't played a full season in 5 years? I think 4 or 5 years, correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, that caught me by surprise. I was a little shocked by that, but I don't see that working out whatsoever. So yeah, Giants suck. As Jerry says, Giants suck anyway. So alrighty, so let's go ahead and talk about my theory about how the Saints receiver core this year will be very similar or even better than the receiver core from 2009. Now, we all know the 2009 Saints are legendary. We remember all of them. Marcus Colston, Devery Henderson, Lance Moore. I think there's a fourth guy I can't remember, but regardless, we're talking about the greatest receiver core to ever be in a Saints uniform, and they were lights out fantastic. They led the Saints to consistent top 5, top 10 best offenses in the league. They ran the league for 10 years, maybe longer than that. But now, I know things have not been proven yet by the Saints, but this year's receiver squad. Oh, thank you. I knew I was forgetting somebody, Robert Meacham. But what the thing about this year's squad, it reminds me about not only how young the squad was compared to the 2009 squad when they first showed up. They first showed up around 2006, 2007, and they were just instant hits. This is kind of reminding me of that squad. Now, because Bryce Lance, he's one of our, I think it was a 3rd or 4th round draft pick. He came from North Dakota. Now, I don't expect him to start right this minute, but he has got so much raw potential that he could actually be a talented, if not a very similar comparison to Lance Moore. I've watched his tape for earlier today, and I just he's got so much Lance Moore talent in him. Could he be the return of Lance Moore, and little do we know about it? Or maybe perhaps another Robert Meacham for all we know. Who knows? And then, of course, you got Jordan Tyson, who could be just like Marcus Colston, if not better, potentially. The talent's there. We drafted him in the 1st round of this past draft for a reason. The talent is there, and then, of course, you got Chris Olave, who's the obvious veteran on the receiver core, and he has done very well in the last 4 years with the New Orleans Saints, outside of 1 year where he was constantly getting hit in the head with injuries left and right. Poor guy. But last year really proved that he could actually stick around for the long run, as long as he's not getting hit in the head. So... and then you got Devon Bailey. Devon Bailey, the underrated receiver that everyone's kind of looking over. In my opinion, he really shined really well up until he got injured. So the key thing I think here for this receiver team is if everybody stays healthy, and that is the key word, is if everybody stays healthy for this coming season. I've said this several times, that this team is going to be a team you do not want to underestimate, because not only are we fast, we are elusive. We can catch the ball anywhere that is thrown towards us. We will make sure you miss us at every single second. This team has got me very excited. Now, I don't want to what I don't want to do is just really jump the gun and say we're going to absolutely tear up this league, because I want to see it for myself. I want to see these guys in action. Now, we have seen some glimpses here and there from rookie OTAs and rookie mini camp and all of that, but that's just rookie mini camp. That's just OTAs. That's not the real thing. Let's see the real thing come training camp, come preseason, come regular season. Like, I want to see the real thing. So, like, I'm excited. I love it. I love every second I love every single player on the receiver corps as we speak. But at the same time, I want to withdraw myself just for a second because I really want to see how well we do. So, and that's kind of where I stand at the moment because, like, I'm all about this season. I think we're going to be so much better than what other teams are projecting us to be, which, by the way, there's a lot of disrespect towards us at the moment because, like, there are some people, as y'all saw my last roast video about that one stupid Instagram user saying that we were going to go 7-10. I call BS on that. Like, some people were saying, well, he makes some good points about some teams. Like, yeah, maybe he did, maybe. But I really think everyone's underestimating us. Like, I think for once we finally have a sturdy O-line. We got a quarterback finally. And we got a receiver core that reflects so much of the 2009 receiver core that we could instantly be a team that nobody's looking out for. We could easily become that team that just runs right through you when you least expect it. We're gonna be like the Roadrunner and the Coyote. Every team is the Coyote, and we're the Roadrunner. We're just running away with everything. So that's how I see this year's team. Now, it would be the biggest bummer if none of that happens and we end up being 7-10 like that guy predicted. But I just don't see it that way. I just don't, because the talent is there on this team. Sure, I'm not expecting us to, like, say we're going to be like a 13-win kind of team. I'm thinking maybe between 9 and 11, maybe more 11 than 9. But that's kind of where I'm thinking of where this team's going to be, because this receiver core that we have can definitely lead us to a playoff run. It can definitely lead us to winning the division. Like, there's just so much good things about this team that I cannot understate how good this team is going to be. So, and yes, Jerry, hateration. That is exactly what it is. A bunch of hateration. They've been drinking too much haterade. So, but yeah. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on this year's receiver core? What do you guys think? We got a new comment. Hold up. Wait a minute. Time out. We have one of the best offenses in the NFL to not have a good season. Amen. Amen. Oh, by the way, nice to meet you, Forever Famous 23. Welcome to my channel. But yes, if I swear to God, like, if we don't have a good year next year, that is going to be the biggest letdown I've ever seen in the Saints season. We knew a couple years ago when we still had Derek Carr and Dennis Allen and all those buffoons for Saints players and coaches. I hate those guys, by the way. But like in years prior, like we always thought that we had the right people, we had the right players. We just can't win. Well, it turns out we didn't have nothing. We really had absolutely nothing. We thought all we need is the quarterback. That didn't work. We thought we had a quarterback in Derek Carr. Didn't happen. We thought Dennis Allen just needed a good offensive coordinator, so we brought one in. That didn't work either. So now that we got a new head coach in Dennis Allen, not Dennis Allen. Wrong guy. Kellen Moore. Excuse me, y'all. I will say a prayer for my own sins there. But yeah, so we got Kellen Moore, who's in year 2. He's looking more confident, and he's drafted really well these last 2 years. And we got Tyler Shuck, who has clearly shown that he is that guy. Hell yeah. Dang right. I'm freaking excited. And just to top it off a notch, and one second, I gotta get a drink real quick. Sometimes I talk so fast, I gotta pause myself for a second. But yeah, so like, this offense on paper looks unstoppable, and that's what got me so excited. Now that Alvin Kamara seems a little more committed to things, and now we got Travis Etienne, not Etienne, Etienne. I'm still getting used to that, by the way, y'all. Like, I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that way, but we got Travis Etienne, we got Alvin Kamara. If we could get that iconic 1-2 punch like we used to have with Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, that would be awesome. Because, like, now that we got HN in the mix of things in the running room, we there's just no freaking way that we have one of the worst running games in the league like we had last year. Like, holy smokes, can you imagine? Like, I would love to see that again. And so, like, looking at the first two games of the season with the Lions and the Ravens, there's as y'all have already seen, some people are already thinking, oh, the Saints are probably going to start 0-2 just because we're playing against the Lions and the Ravens. I'm sorry, but I think the Lions, and I know they've been good in the last couple years now, don't get me wrong, I think the Lions are not ready for this year's version of the Saints. I really don't think they're ready for us, like, at all. Like, I think they're not ready for the hammer that's about to be smacked into their faces when we absolutely steamroll them inside their own house. I think it's in their own house, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. So I think Lions fans are just like thinking, oh, it's just the Saints. They sucked last year. And we're over here. Oh, how little do you know? You're about to get the biggest caged ass whooping you ever received in old Detroit. So, but yeah, so, and then when it comes to the Ravens game, that's the only game I think I might be a little more hesitant to say we'll absolutely win because Lamar Jackson would be fully healthy unless by some bizarre reason he trips on his own shoes and twists his ankle and he somehow is out for the season because he tore some ligament in his ankle. I don't know. The man's been injured so often lately. I don't know for certain, but imagine we start the year 2-0 against two of the best teams in the NFL. Teams are going to start looking all direction. Now, of course, as usual, NFL fan bases around the league are going to start thinking, yeah, we've seen this last time. The Saints started 2-0 last time. Look how that turned out. Well, that's because we had Derek Carr as quarterback. We had Dennis Allen as our head coach. We had all these people who really should not have been in the building to begin with. Everything fell apart by the time by the time we started Derek Carr started showing his true colors. We just had a lot of fool's gold that day. I don't believe for 1 second that we have fool's gold this time. I personally believe we have what it takes to absolutely kick the sorry butts of those Detroit Lions and Baltimore Ravens in their own houses, shock the NFL world, and absolutely make our names known once again. And of course, let the fail clown fans start crashing out like, oh crap, the Saints are back, they're gonna kick our sorry asses. And the Tampa Bay Succaneer fans are like, shoot, they're back. We gotta run back to the basement. And then the Kitty Cat fans, well, you know, they're Kitty Cat fans. They're just sad and depressed in their pathetic fan lives of theirs. They're thinking that Bryce Young is actually their savior quarterback when he's really just one big joke. So, yeah. Our defense, the only thing I'm concerned about Riley and Stutzman got to step up. Isaiah Stallburn need a lot of snaps at linebacker. You know, that's a valid point. That is a valid point. Let's talk about the defense for a minute now that my man here brought it up. Shout out to Forever Famous 23 for that comment. So the defense, I can definitely agree, might be the slight concern because as I mentioned earlier in this live stream, we lost Cam Jordan, and he's TBD. I'm not sure if he's coming back or not. We also lost, excuse me. We also lost Demario Davis. We lost Alontae Taylor. I think we lost somebody else on defense. I forget. But regardless, there's a couple of big names on that defense that are getting replaced by these younger, somewhat inexperienced players. Now, Danny Stutzman, I've been very high on that guy since last year. He's shown some good stuff. He didn't play a lot last year, granted, but he showed some good stuff. Isaiah Stallburn is another guy who showed some really good stuff last year. Quincy Riley, Jonas excuse me. I just called the man Stanker. My bad, y'all. Jonas Sanker, excuse me. So, yeah, we got these young, uprising defensive player stars on the rise, and obviously we need another year to see if they either really keep up that upward trend, or they're going to go kind of mediocre, or they're going to go downhill. It just kind of depends. So, but I think now that they have a full year under their belt, and they've had the same defensive coordinator for now 2 years in a row, I just see a lot of good things from our defense. I really do. Now, the questions are there. How well is this team going to be now that those guys are the four said veterans are no longer on the team? Now there's a good chance for Kay and Ellis, who we brought in from this past offseason. Let's see how his presence makes an impact. As mentioned, Danny Stutzman, how is he going to make an impact as possibly a new young voice of the defense? These are things we definitely need to keep an eye out for. And to switch back to the offense, I know I've talked about the offense a lot in this video, but specifically the offensive line, I think one position group we need to look out for is Cesar Ruiz's position. I don't know. Maybe this is just a gut feeling, and maybe this is what every Houdat fan is hoping for. But a Cesar Ruiz position at the moment, I think, is in danger to one of our new rookies that just came out from this past draft, the guy from Auburn. If I can find his name real quick. So give me 2 seconds, guys. Not Torricelli Simpkins is Jeremiah Wright. That's somebody I am going to be keeping my watchful eyes on this coming training camp, because I want to see how well he does this preseason coming up. So I'm not expecting him to absolutely start right away, but I can guarantee you with one thing. Cesar Ruiz, as we know, has not been the best offensive guard. Is that correct? Yeah, I think right guard, left guard, forget which side he's on. It's right guard. Yeah, it's right guard. So if Cesar Ruiz starts to really struggle again this year, I would not be surprised if Kellen Moore starts making changes right off the bat by either throwing in Torricelli Simpkins in there, who was pretty solid last year, or this new guy, Jeremiah Wright. Jeremiah Wright, who surprisingly was defensive player last year. He played defensive line, I think, for 1 year at Auburn, and then the year after that, he's been offensive line ever since then. I would not be surprised if he starts getting more looks during the season. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's a good chance, because as we know, Cesar Ruiz, he's not the best at all. And he's like one of my least favorite players on this team at the moment, especially at the offensive line position. And on top of that, he's been injury prone half his career with us. I don't see him. I personally don't see him lasting another year with us, especially if he goes down again for either an injury reason or he just simply stinks. I would not be surprised if Jeremiah Wright or Torricelli Simpkins III comes in and just, takes over from there. Because we've seen Simpkins III do really well in the end stretch of last season. That's really good stuff there. But now that we get Jeremiah Wright, who might be better than Simpkins, fingers crossed, we'll touch up on that on another video at another time. But it'll be interesting to see what they're like in the end. So that's kind of my take on the offensive line real quick. I figure I'd just talk about that real quick. Excuse me. Black Mon, our sleeper this year. And I ain't no Tyree Wilson a stud. I need to see Michael Heldman. He is a starter too, along with Xavier Harris. Some of those guys, absolutely. Blackman had a lot of potential. He looked like he was going to be like an instant impact starter for last year's team. Unfortunately, he had a season-ending injury, so that kind of stunk. Which I'm glad we actually brought him back. I'm really glad we brought him back, because I think he had shown some potential, but we didn't get to see him fully because of his injury. So, and then Tyree Wilson, he showed some good stuff too last year, so that's somebody who we definitely gonna keep an eye out for. And Xavier Harris, now that's my boy. For y'all who know me, I'm an Ole Miss fan here. I watched him all last season, and he was like one of the few good Ole Miss defensive players from last year during our playoff run. The man is a beast. He will plow right through you. He will get you the sacks, the pressure, and everything. So I think he is somebody that could be very underrated and really good for this defense. Now, How would he be used in the defense? That's up to our defensive coordinator. So we'll figure that out later on. But I can definitely vouch for Xavier Harris because he's shown he has some raw, delicious, maybe delicious is one hell of a word. Wow, Chris. But he's got some really good talent in there that could really help this defense really boost themselves up to the next level. And who knows? He might be the next. This might be a bit of a far-fetched reach here, but he might be the next Cam Jordan for all I know. We'll cross that bridge at a later day for that. If he doesn't pan out the way I hope he does, then oh well, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. So, but I'm just vouching for my boy here. So, but yeah, let's see, bro. Xavier Harris would stop so many runs for us. I've been had him at starter. I was confused when it didn't get drafted too huge about. Yeah, I was a little shocked too, my friend. I'm a little shocked by that as well because I'm not sure why he wasn't drafted because I've already mentioned he's such an impactful player on our defense, and he led us to the playoffs for a good reason because of his presence. He's able to get pressure on any opposing quarterback. He gets the sacks when necessary. He'll get turnovers also when necessary. The dude is a dog. How he was overlooked, I don't know. And I'm really hoping, not just for my Ole Miss fan self, but also for his sake, that he will come out and just absolutely dominate. I don't care if he gives our current O-line problems, which is actually a good thing from a defensive side of things. Maybe a bad thing from the offensive side of things, but that's a good thing from a defensive side of things. So I want him to absolutely make his presence known in this coming preseason. That's a player on my watch list, which I should definitely want to make another video for another day, maybe after my Italy trip and all that. But I want to make a video talking about players I want to keep an eye out for in this coming preseason, just so I can like pinpoint, okay, this guy's doing well, this guy's not doing so hot, this guy's amazing, this guy stinks. Stuff like that. That's kind of on my radar. I definitely want to get on top of that. So anyway, what do you guys think about the Saints for this coming season? What do you guys think about the Saints receiver core this coming season? Do y'all think it's be as close to the 09 receiver core? Do you think it's be more closely to last year's receiver core? We'll see what happens. So again, just to recap, I personally think they could be just as good, maybe not as good, if that makes any sense. Like we're not talking like they're going to be better than the 09 core. I think they'll be just as good. If not, maybe a little bit less good than them, if that makes sense. So, anyway, with that being said, thank y'all for tuning into this video today. Thank y'all for just jumping into my live stream, talking football with me. I love talking football with you guys. And I will be back in 2 weeks from Wednesday because I will be in Italy for the next 2 weeks. I got my cousin's wedding happening there, so that's exciting. And I've been needing this vacation for a while. It's been a very, very busy month. So, in the meantime, thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't leave a like and a subscribe. I know I said that twice, but whatever, that's who I am. So, in the meantime, take care. Arrivederci, mi amiche. I cannot get that right. I gotta practice some more. In the meantime, stay cool, y'all. Who dat?
KK, you are the savior. We yelling black and gold to the Super Bowl. Black and gold to the Super Bowl.